Hey, you're back.
Time this time. All right.
Let me pull up the next issue we've got, which I think is 71. Yep, that's it right there. Okay. Let me share the screen. Share screen, tab. There we go. Okay. Hello, three viewers. Welcome back. We're starting another. Bob, what's going on? Starting another broadcast. So there'll be 4 videos tonight. What's going on, Chris?
Wow, 4 videos.
Yep, there will be 4 videos. 2 Fight Clubs, 2 histories.
Oh, you're going to split history like this too? Oof.
Yep.
Ugh.
Little homie, what's up? How are you? They're coming back in. Jer, what was your day like? Do anything fun?
Actually, no.
No, nothing.
We're looking to do some things around the house or whatever, and also went out to look at yard barns. I need a new yard barn, so it was. But it was an utterly crap week. I mean, it's like, so here I am laying down, and then and I'm thinking, well, I got about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half before the show starts, blah, blah, blah. My wife says, hey, would you go get Spencer and I something to eat? And I, sure, why not, whatever. And so I'm sitting there in the Burger King line or whatever, and then I get this text message or whatever, and it's basically like, are you coming? We start at 9, and it's like, and meanwhile, of course, Burger King decides to be slow, and the guy who hands me the food, it's a guy, but he's got pink fingernails, and so I'm thinking this day is really going great.
The Star Blazing dude wants to know what you think of Denny O'Neil passing. We talked about it before he got here. What's your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, obviously, his Spider-Man run was somewhat less than illustrious, and probably if you take Jim Shooter at his word, he may or may not have written it anyway.
Wait a minute, refresh me. What did Shooter say?
Shooter Shooter said a couple of things about O'Neil when Shooter had that blog that we all thought was really cool. He said, he said that, was it okay? I think O'Neil, he said when he hacked badly. And then suggested that he was using interns or others to write his stories. But this was and O'Neil was very frank about, maybe not this particular period in his life, but he was very frank about having substance abuse issues and other things during his life. So, but no, the guy was a comics legend. And when you think about it, I mean, not to go over ground that you guys might have gone, but Batman comics after the 1960s. I mean, the 1960s or during the 1960s. I mean, the 1960s TV show saved the Batman comics. Yeah, I mean, it did save the Batman comics, but it also.
It's almost a direct quote of what George said.
Yeah, well, it's like, George and I mean, that's why we've known each other for all these years. We have a great minds think alike. And, but then that was the image people had of Batman, and O'Neil came in and took him back to some of his, his detective and Dark Knight roots, created Ra's al Ghul. So
great art. He allegedly created Hydro Man and Madam Web, which is still used today.
Yeah. It was just funny, that run. I mean,
and Lonesome Pinky.
Yeah. It was like, what in the world is happening here? I mean, the whole tonal shift. Marv Wolfman had all these great subplots going on, and then O'Neil came in, and it's almost like and this is why I wonder if he was even writing it, to be honest, because the series, it just became infantile, more or less.
Random internet hates Madam Web. Well, you're getting a movie, allegedly. Let's see.
After you get the jackpot movie.
Hello, George, Brad, and JR from SoFlo. Lord Maxon, are those comics behind you, Brad? Yes, this is the Spider Cave. This is the crawl space of my house. I've got comics beside me and behind me. And yes, I'm addicted. Little homie's excited for the new Miles Morales game. I am too. Random internet weirdo wants to know when we're going to get the Kazar versus Kraven Friday night fight that features GOG. I hate those issues.
I don't like them either.
I hate those.
Never liked them either.
Do you like them, George? Do you want to talk about that?
It's not something I'm against covering. Probably need to get started so we can get through this because I've only got 25 minutes.
I'm sorry. What? All right, here we go. Are you ready? 3,
All right,
2. Hey, Crawl Spacers, welcome to July. Man, did that month fly by. It's the Independence Day is already gone. My goodness. Welcome, Ooh. George.
Hello, everyone. It's been a while.
No doubt. It's been Friday. Long time since we had a fight. We're lying. We're recording this in June. Okay, we've got JR. What's going on, JR?
Oh yeah, just got the shut up the barbecue and everything, and the grill, and douse the charcoal briquettes, and boy, here ready to go with another great episode of Friday Night Fights, and superhero pugilism brought to you by George Barrowman.
There you go.
Wow.
So George, we're sticking, as you said, to classic Romita this summer, right?
Yes. It's another summer of Romita, which is like saying Summer of Love.
Yeah.
If you're a comic book nerd.
Nice.
But no, this one's obviously by Stan Lee and Romita. And again, this is one of those things where I think Romita did the breakdowns and then Jim Mooney came in and did the finishes.
Amazing Spider-Man 71, Quicksilver. Beautiful looking cover, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very cool cover. And the cover actually is an accurate
representation.
Thank you. Yeah, depiction. That's what I was looking for.
Depiction
of what actually happens inside the issue.
Yeah, Spider-Man up against a speedster. Spider-Man's already fast, but he's not this fast. So this will be an interesting fight.
Yeah,
and anything like Evan Peters.
So the story is the speedster and the Spider from April 1969.
April Fool's Day it was released in 69. April 1st, it looks like.
Was it?
Yeah, that's what it says on Marvel Unlimited. So,
all right. Yeah, well, there you
go. April Fool's Day.
So the issue starts off with, again, we give a little context, a little pre-fight context. This is right after Spider-Man has recovered the Tablet of Fate and wound up yelling at Jonah, and Jonah had a heart attack.
Yeah.
What is that funny, JR? A man is in the hospital and JR's like,
yeah.
But
I just remember I just remember the Marvel Tales. I just remember the issues, and it was like Spider-Man had just had it, and he was going after Jonah, and I remember Ned Leeds was there, and I just remember these lines: "Beat it, Leeds. This is between me and that human hate machine." So
there's a nice direct quote.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can understand where Spider-Man's hit his limit finally.
Yeah.
Where Peter's just done with Jonah. Weird though is that we have another issue where the Tablet of Fate shows up, and again, that's topical now.
50 years later, still talking about it.
Still topical.
Who knew that it was an Atlantean artifact and then an alien artifact or something or other?
And then GOG was protecting it. Who knew this in '69? Right?
Wow.
And so at this time, Peter's living with Harry. Harry comes in after a date with Mary Jane, and he's all pepped up, and he's all woohoo. And Spider-Man's, it's Peter Parker, so he's hating himself, because he lost it and almost scared Jonah to death.
Yeah.
Guilt. Meanwhile, Quicksilver is in New York City. He was actually with Wanda and the Toad. And then they actually wound up crashing in the Adirondacks. And so Quicksilver's like, we have to redeem ourselves. I must go to New York and talk to the Avengers and let them know that we're not, evil people again.
Right.
And so he gets to New York.
It almost sounds like a children's book, Wanda and the Toad.
Yeah. So Quicksilver arrives in New York and then sees, he stops by, Avengers Mansion. And as is the case, when you're trying to find the Avengers, they're not there.
No,
they're off somewhere else, and this time they're in Africa. And Jarvis is like, "I'm sorry, Quicksilver, they're not here." And so Quicksilver runs out and says, "Well, I can't run to Africa." And
could.
No, I don't think he can run across water.
Can he not run across water?
I don't think he can.
It's not Jesus. It's not.
I don't think. The Flash can do it, and he's not Jesus.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I don't think, because like the Flash is like way faster than Quicksilver, and I don't think the Quicksilver is actually able to walk on water. I don't know. Okay. Or if he is, I've never seen it. But then again, I'm a Spider-Man fan, not an X-Men fan. I've read a lot of X-Men comics, but typically my favorite X-Men comics are the ones where they get their asses beat by Spider-Man.
Secret Wars 3, baby.
Yeah. So I got JR. So Quicksilver, he leaves the Avengers Mansion, finds a newspaper, and it says Spider-Man wanted, and he's like, "Oh,
there it is.
He's a wanted criminal. All right, I'll go capture this guy and redeem myself to the police and the Avengers and the whole world."
Yeah, sure.
And how many guys have tried that?
Right? Yeah. So he heads off, trying to look for Spider-Man. He finds Spider-Man right as Spider-Man has dropped unannounced into George Stacy's apartment. He's like, "Woohoo! Jonah's alive. Here's a tablet. I'm not a bad guy," and then hops right back out. And then you got Captain Stacy going like, "Wait, no, Spider-Man, I want to talk to you." He's like, "Nope, you're too smart. I can't have you putting two and two together. I got to clear out of here before you hear my voice." That's literally how that goes down. That's
true. Literally he's in and out. He doesn't have time.
In and out. He's like, "Woohoo! Here's your tablet. Jonah's alive. I'm out, Phil.
Peace out.
I'll send you a postcard later, Tater.
Talk to you in issue 90 when you reveal something to me."
So he gets out of Captain Stacy's apartment, and then his spider senses go off right as Quicksilver runs up the side of a building right next to him. And then suddenly, while his web senses go off and alert him to him, Quicksilver doesn't hit him, but it kind of startles him. So Spider-Man starts to fall. And Spider-Man's like, "I'm sorry, Spider-Man. It was not my intention to make you fall. I only wish to capture you and bring you to justice." I'm like, "All right. Thanks for, thanks.
Thanks, jerk."
Yeah. Thanks for nothing, pal. So Spider-Man starts falling. He slows himself down by, clinging to the wall as he's dropping down. Quicksilver reverses course, starts to run down the side of the building, and it's at the Park Hotel. I guess, did Captain Stacy live at the Park Hotel? Is that?
I don't know.
I didn't know that. I thought they actually had an apartment. Anyway, so Spider-Man is able to, stop himself from falling by clinging to the wall, swings underneath the Park Hotel awning, like, is outside the front of the building, startling the doorman. And then he's like, he's like wall crawling underneath it, like sticking to the underneath of that awning. And Quicksilver's like, "Well, where'd he go?" He's doing the Hillary Clinton thing, and where'd it go? And so then Pietro jumps down. I like how the art just makes him look like a blur, because that's actually really cool.
Yeah, he's like a tornado.
And he drops down. He's like, "Oh, Spider-Man must be here. He must." And then he appears underneath the awning, and he goes, "Aha, I might have guessed." And so Spider-Man tries to drop down on him, and then Pietro starts to spin around real quick, and thereby disrupt the airflow, I guess, around him. And Spider-Man gets knocked off balance. Yeah. And so Spider-Man, at first, this is another fight where, initially Spider-Man doesn't look so great.
No, he's like kissing the ground.
Yeah. Things are going better. He's like, "Jonah's not alive. I'm not a murderer. Here's a tablet of fate. Woohoo! World's small oyster." And then he's getting his butt kicked by a mutant.
Yeah, that's not good. No,
it's not good. So he's trying to talk sense to Pietro. He's like, "Look, I'm one of the good guys." And the entire time, Pietro's talking. I love Pietro's dialogue here. It is so stilted. "I now call upon you to surrender. For I have no wish to harm you. It's merely my purpose to bring you to justice." And I'm like, "Weren't you just a part of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants 5 minutes ago?"
Yeah, aren't you misunderstood too, brother?
Yeah. So Spider-Man is like down on the street, and Quicksilver's about to try to punch him or something. He's like, looks like his hands going really fast. He's about to come, and so Spider-Man grabs his legs because he's not running, he's not moving, right? Like his hand was going fast, but not the rest of him. Spider-Man grabs his legs, and Pietro punches him, and then just punches him, I don't know, a couple hundred times. It's impossible to say. I mean, like, there's like little hits going off all around him. He even says, "I can strike you a dozen times before you even feel the first."
Yeah.
And Spider-Man's pose in this fight is this: getting hit in the face.
Exactly.
For a good while. So And he's even taunting him. He's like, all your powers, all your vaunted spider strength, they cannot save you now. But do not be alarmed. I do not wish to harm you. I can bring you. I'm totally here to bring you to justice.
That's not. Maybe that's how mutants talk, but not the average Joe. You know,
Wanda and Pietro were different. They had a different upbringing.
Yeah, they did.
So Pietro starts spinning around Spider-Man, right? Very rapidly, very quickly. Yeah, this is what we saw on the front cover.
Yeah.
And basically what he's doing is he's creating like a wind tunnel to create an updraft to basically suffocate Spider-Man, who he doesn't wish to harm, who he only wishes to bring to justice. I'll do it by strangling you.
I'll strangle the oxygen out of your lungs.
Yeah. So Spider-Man's, you know, it's working. It's effective. Spider-Man can't breathe. He's on the ropes. So he does what only thing he can think to do, which, you know, fortunately he's smart.
Yeah.
So he puts his arm out.
That's going to hurt.
You know, like a roadblock, and totally hits Pietro. Pietro's running, however fast he's going, and then thump right into Spider-Man's arm, which is pretty strong.
Yeah. And
boom, like that, he's out. That's it. He's just, bam, he's done. He's out.
Yeah,
that's done. His Achilles heel is literally the back of a man's arm.
His hand is strong, and he could be a pimp.
Oh, Brad. No.
Remember,
Brad,
what's that's bad.
Brad, this is a family show. Brad.
I'm so sorry. I was thinking of the old expression, "My pimp hand is strong."
I know.
My mutant hand is strong.
This is a different time, Brad. We can't talk that way anymore.
I'm sorry. That's
this isn't 2007, Brad. No, I don't care.
Okay.
So the cops pull up. Spidey's holding an unconscious Quicksilver.
Yeah. The
cops show up. They're like, "Aha, Spider-Man, stay where you are. We want both of you."
No, I'm out.
Now, see, if Spider-Man's a complete jerk, he just tosses. You know, he starts to crawl up the wall and tosses him Quicksilver. Says, "Here you go."
Yeah, he's not a jerk though.
You know, you can have half of us. But no, instead he grabs Pietro, starts going up the wall, takes him up to the roof, and then Quicksilver finally comes to after having the wind knocked out of him and getting knocked out, and he's like, "You could have slain me, but you did not. I will no longer go up against you." And yeah. Spider-Man's reaction literally is to say, "Groovy."
Well, it's 68.
Yeah. And so Quicksilver's like, "I will find some other method of redemption, but not at the expense of such as you." Well, what does that even mean? This dude just beats you in the street. Such as you? You know.
Such as you.
Well, actually, Silvermane has a secret. Quicksilver has a secret plan to alter reality, and
spin the Earth back.
Yeah, so he'll. So Wanda will change reality or whatever, and Spider-Man will have a son, and then when reality reasserts itself, Spider-Man will go to and just absolutely beat Quicksilver's ass.
So the decision, George, who won this fight?
Clearly Spider-Man won this fight. I mean, it was rough up until the end when he used quick thinking and a strong arm. Yeah, to literally knock the wind out of Quicksilver and win the fight. Yeah, but I mean, he was overwhelming Spider-Man early on.
If you look at it, I don't think Spider-Man got a single punch in, with the exception of when he held his hand up. So Quicksilver did a lot of punching, but they didn't connect essentially.
I mean, Spider-Man grabbed his legs at one point, but then Quicksilver just that's. Right as he grabbed his legs, that's when Quicksilver commences to hit him 10,000 times.
Yeah, he got a lot of punches. There's the grab of the legs, but yeah, man.
So yeah, decision of Spider-Man.
SoFlo says Spider-Man beats another X-Man. Yeah, and he beat an Avenger too, for that matter.
That's not the first time he's beaten an Avenger.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, the list of people that Spider-Man has owned in public is quite large.
That's true. It's true. Starblazer wants to know, George, wasn't Quicksilver first introduced in an Iron Man issue, or was it an Avengers comic for his first appearance? I thought it was an X-Men comic. Let's look it up. His first appearance.
I thought it was an X-Men comic. I thought it was.
Yeah, it was. He was a bad guy first, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Like you guys are the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. I like that. They call themselves evil.
Let's see.
They were in the '60s. I liked how in the first Bryan Singer X-Men movie, Bryan Singer was like, I love these characters. That's too far. We can't call it. They're just going to call themselves the Brotherhood of Mutants. How about that?
X-Men number 4, March of '64, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. I think this is when, wasn't he introduced with a sister in that issue?
I believe
could be wrong.
I believe that's true.
Yeah.
Because they were recruits for the Brotherhood of Mutants.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Pietro. I mean, I think the best handling of him was in X Factor by Peter David, where he just imagine like a guy that's always on edge with like 15 cups of coffee kind of guy. Like he's always fast. He's always jittery. I imagine that's what Quicksilver would be like.
I wasn't a big Quicksilver fan until remember he was on the Avengers team in the '90s when they were all wearing those goofy jackets.
Yeah, I remember that.
I for the life of me, I cannot. I remember Steve Epting, I think, did the art, but I cannot remember who wrote that.
Bob Harris.
Was that Harris?
Bob Harris wrote that.
Maybe that's why I blocked that out of my memory.
I kind of like that team. It had Hercules. It had Black Widow. It had Cersei. It had Dane Whitman. I kind of like that team.
I like that era. I hated the jackets, but I liked, for some reason, I like the story.
Steve Epting is a great artist. He did the Bucky cap stuff and Captain America. I like that a lot. Let's see what other comments we got. Random Internet Weirdo says, you forgot issue 87 where Peter tells everyone in Stacy's house that he's Spider-Man, and then Prowler pretends he's Spider-Man, and George is relieved that Peter is not Spider-Man. I remember that issue. Where was this? Vinkman says, I remember when JR got a Spider Jeopardy question about how many heart attacks Jonah's had over the years.
Oh, did he?
What was the number? Do you remember, JR?
I don't even
multiple choice.
I don't even remember the question. I guess I really am going senile, huh? Really, I don't.
Random Internet Weirdo says,
or maybe it was just one of those where I won again and I got drunk and then forgot everything. So.
How did Gog move from the Savage Land to wherever they found the tablet in? What nonsense is this?
Well, when you figure it out, you let us know.
Speedsters and Lego Avengers can run on water, and I'm happy they did that. Let's see. Lord President says Jonah's hate boner for Spider-Man is so strong he survived 4 heart attacks just to keep hating on Spider-Man. Gross. Yes, Bob. Peter David usually does great stuff. I'm excited for his Maestro miniseries. Maestro. Sorry, yeah, Maestro miniseries that he's going to write.
Children.
He what?
And you teach children.
Delk Boy says, I think Romita was on great from the year on this issue. The definition of the art became sharper, more dynamic. Issue 75 is a personal fave of mine. What happened in 75? Amazing Spider-Man 75. I forget.
75. Was that the first Silvermane? No, that was 70. I think that was 72 or 73.
Let me see. Hold on. I can find it real simple. Let me keep hitting next. Oh, the facepalm cover. Let me pull it up.
I think it's Silvermane related.
He's in the prison, remember? I think in this one he's in the prison.
No, I don't think he's in prison in this one.
No. That's the
Death Without Warning.
Yeah, he's in Silvermane's condo or whatever because
okay,
at the end, why he's more than Silvermane, I don't know, but yeah, Silvermane drinks the formula and regresses all the way.
Oh, yeah.
And then Spider-Man just, oh, poor Silvermane. And I'm thinking, wait a minute,
he was such a nice, horrible mob boss.
Yeah.
Vinkman says some Fantastic Four fans out there don't like Quicksilver because he ended up marrying Crystal instead of Johnny Storm.
Johnny Storm's a man whore.
Yeah.
And that's coming from somebody who's a Fantastic Four fan. Johnny Storm is a man whore.
Yeah. Yeah, he married a Skrull.
He didn't. Well, he married a scroll thinking she was
she Alicia. Yeah,
thinking she was Ben's girlfriend.
Which was that's a jerk move to do anyway.
Yeah, so
that's not cool.
There's been a lot of reasons that.
Wait. Didn't he marry her when Ben was like?
He was in the Secret Wars.
Yeah, where he was doing a lot of self-pitying or whatever. So I'll just feel sorry myself back on this alien world, and I'll abandon everybody I know, and then I'll come back and be offended that my brother figure married my girlfriend after I completely abandoned her while I was in another, that kind of stuff.
No, Johnny Storm was with him in the Secret Wars, JR.
Yeah, but Ben stayed behind, remember?
Yeah,
and then
Ben stayed behind.
After the Secret Wars. Yeah.
That's when they got started getting together.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts on this one, George?
Not really. It's another great Stanley, Johnny Romita senior issue.
Sofalo says Romita is the best. I would agree. Jonathan Lopez says yes, he is a man whore, George.
Yeah, confirmed.
Oh my gosh, JR. Del Boy just bought Web Slinger. Does he get a no prize? When is your check coming in from that purchase there, JR?
Well,
his book, Web Slinger.
Well, oh my gosh, Del Boy, thank you so much. I only 5,000 more copies to go before I finally use up that advance. I'm trying. Oh my Lord!
I don't know how that works, JR. Do you still get like a check, like a royalty from the book?
No,
hell no. Okay.
No. How it works is everybody, and again, it's not my book. I mean, I was just a contributor because they thought that I was somebody else. They thought I was an actual writer because I was promoting my book. Writer. Because I was promoting my best friend's book on my website or whatever, and so they thought I was him, so offered me a writing job. But no, there's about 15 or so, I think, and edited by Jerry Conway. And but we all got. I don't know what they got, but I got $300. Okay, to write that article. And usually what happens is it has to sell. That's the advance. And well, I mean, in publishing, that's how it works. And then you have to sell so many to eat up that advance before you then start getting royalties. But no, there's not any royalties, and there aren't going to be any royalties. But hey, I have my name on the back of a published book. There you go.
What? I had that. I had that on the back of. Back when we were doing Hero Realm, I did a review for like the G.I. Joe, the IDW revamp, or what were they before that? I think Devil's Due or something like that.
Yeah.
And I had like a one-line, highly recommended George Berryman, HeroRealm.com on the back of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Didn't I don't know if you were mentioned by name, but didn't Hero Realm get acknowledged in the old CrossGen series?
I had a thing on the back, like an actual quote printed on the back of one of those collected editions that they had. And then, oddly enough, here's some trivia for you. My mother reviewed CrossGen stuff on the website back then.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because she saw me reading stuff all the time, and she was like, well, she saw the CrossGen stuff. She's like, well, I would kind of like to, this looks interesting. I would kind of like to read this. I'm like, okay. I was like, wow. All right, sure, Ma, go ahead. This is back when I was still in college. And, or no, wait, this is 2000. So I was already out of college, but yeah, I was like, all right, I'm using y'all's computer. So sure, whatever. And, so she started to read them, and then she started to review them. Yeah. Like earnestly. And her name on the thing. My last name is Berryman. Her last name, because she's, I have a stepdad, she's remarried. Her last name is Webb. Oddly enough. So all my friends growing up called her Ma Webb.
Oh,
wow.
And so
Madam Webb.
Madam Webb.
Well, it's
His mother is Madam Webb.
It's WEBB. All right.
That's so funny.
So she reviewed as Ma Webb. And so I was quoted on the back of a CrossGen trade, and then my mother
that's so funny.
Was quoted on the back of one of them, whatever their quote was, and then Ma Webb.
That's really cool.
She loved that.
All right. I'm going to hit.
If your dad was like Big Watermelon Man and you were Little Watermelon Man, then what did that make your mother?
Little Web Watermelon.
She was little. No, she was Little Softy. After the toilet paper mascot, remember back in the day?
Oh my Hey, we're gonna do spider history now, JR. We're doing
absolutely.
We're doing the goblin at the end of Burn Mackie, right? 18.
Oh yes, we are.
All right,
Yes,
look
we are.
for the feed. I'm going to stop the feed. We're going to start a new feed coming down. Join us in 30 seconds. Here we go. Let me hit end broadcast.